Hi, everyone. I wanted to do a really quick video about rain, puppies, and God, and how when you're all clear, when you're really clear about things, how you can manifest. I'm Marilyn Aloria, psychic medium, teacher, and coach, and I teach people around the world how to use their own physical instrument, this, in order to ignite their intuition and the gifts inside of them so they can live a life that they love living. Basically, it helps you to move the things that you need to move, get unstuck, do the things that you love to do. And it just helps you to live more from the inside out. So I was thinking about this little story that happened to me this week. And on Sunday, as most of you know, I got a puppy because he's all over my Facebook page and he's not on my YouTube channel. I'm on YouTube right now too. But and I got a puppy, and it became challenging right away, right? Because you get a puppy, it's a German Shepherd puppy, and everything just goes rah, haywire and crazy. And I was like, oh my goodness, what did I do? And I was in love with him from the minute I met him, but I still questioned, like, what did I do? What did I do? But I don't make decisions lightly. And I knew my intuition was telling me to get this puppy, get this puppy. And I kept hearing gift from God, gift from God, gift from God. If people asked me where I got him, it was gift from God. And so when I was looking for his name, I couldn't find a name that meant gift from God. There was a name Theo, and I was like, that sounds too much like an ex-boyfriend of mine. I'm not naming him that. And I kept searching for his name, and I finally found his name, which was Shiloh. So if you're just joining me now, or if you're watching the replay, we're going to be talking about clarity and how clarity helps you to manifest things in your life. And I'm going to be telling you a story right now about how quickly I'm starting to manifest, but it's in a different way. It's not this way that's outside of you. It's everything that's inside of you, and how when you're really clear and your intention is extremely clear, things just happen. So I kept hearing this dog's name was gift from God, or this dog, before I even met him, it was gift from God, gift from God. And then I met him, and I was like, okay, I need his name. And it took me like 10 days to find his name because, like I said, that there weren't that many names that I was searching that meant gift from God. And one was too close to an ex-boyfriend. And I was like, So I came upon the name Shiloh, and I was like, that's it. That's perfect. That's his name, Shiloh. Gift from God and peaceful. We have not seen the peaceful part yet, but we've got the gift from God part. And through the trials and tribulations of puppy training, he's now in puppy boot camp right now this afternoon. And I'm missing him, actually missing him. I'm falling deeply, deeply, deeply in love with him, but I'm also falling into love with a new relationship with what God is to me. Now, I don't care if you believe in God, higher self, universe, source. I don't give a shit what you believe in. You can believe in this microphone. It doesn't matter to me. And so through these trials and tribulations and grief and the rainstorms and everything that was going on, I really recognized that what I was being called to, because whenever you decide to do something, you do something new, the shit hits the fan. People think, oh, it's going to be easy now because my intuition told me to do this. No, no, no. That's when it gets hard. That's when it gets uncomfortable. That's when you get challenged. That's when you stretch. So I could feel this happening, and I was like, okay, great. I have this dog now. I love him. I've got to make this work. And I just falling in love with him. And I was like, there's something here about God. There's something here. It's this new relationship with God. It's leaning into God. It's having faith. It's having faith that everything's going to be okay. It's having faith that what I desire and what I teach everybody is that your dreams in your heart are meant to come true. So I know there's something new here. So I was just kind of leaning into it, and I was like working with my thoughts and working with positive thinking. And you can't just work with positive thinking. You have to work with the physical experience as well. The belief that's maybe running the ship. I'm a loser. I'm not good. I'm losing self-worth. This is for a lot of you that are like trying to grow a business, or you're trying to get a business off the ground. You can't understand why you can't get the business off the ground. You think you don't have the sales technique or the marketing technique or the ad technique or the right assistant or the right clients. And it's not that. It's that there's something inside of you that doesn't believe that you can do it. So you need to marry these two. It can't be just your thoughts, and it can't be just your heart. It's got to come together. So when you start working with both of these, this to me is where God exists, the universe, the source connection. It's when you start believing in something, right? You've been believing in it, you believe in it, and then your body, your emotion, life inside of you comes along for the ride. It's with you. And there's a magical connection that's happening called clarity. It's clarity, right? So I'm going to be teaching about this. And if you want to know more about it, I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. Okay. You can go to marilynaloria.com/10x. Even if you've done it before, don't worry about it. We're doing a new experience, a live experience, and we've added a panel discussion. So it's really, really good. Okay, so here I am with this puppy, and I got to move this story along as I write this because I always do everything. I told my assistant today, I'm like, you're a perfectionist. I'm not. So that's where you can go to join this next live experience. It's going to be amazing. You're going to learn about intuition, higher self. All of this is really important. So Sunday, it's pouring rain, pouring rain. And I built this whole contraption out in my front deck because I live in a hillside house. And I built this big contraption so that Shiloh could go to the bathroom on the front deck because I have no flat land. And I'm out there and the wind is blowing and it's bad. And I'm like, okay, I tied the thing down to my house and it's like a parachute, like jumping off. And I'm like, I know I can get this done. So I'm like making air holes in it because it took so long to put it together. And I needed the help of someone that I didn't want to take it down because then I'd have to ask someone to help me again to put it back up. And I didn't want to ask for help. So I got it all done. I went into the house and all of a sudden I heard bing, bang, boom. And I look out my front door and the thing is just, it was all metal, not broken apart, taking up the entire front deck, completely broken, like this much space to the front door. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I went out there and I'm like, I don't know what to do now because I have to get upstairs to the deck, to the car. It's covering the entire deck. I can't, it's like stuck and grooved into things. The legs are like stuck and sticking out. I can't move it. I can't fold it. I can't carry it. It's huge. And I've got to get the dogs out too. And it's pouring, it's raining and it's windy and it's storming. And I go right into fight or flight sometimes with certain experiences. And this may sound stupid to some of you, but when you grow up with a lot of trauma, and I'm talking serious trauma, that's where you go. So I went back and I was like, pause, because I'm learning how to pause. Remember the space between the thoughts and the body and the feelings. And I go into my heart and they're like, text a neighbor, text a neighbor. I'm like, oh my God, my poor neighbors, man. I just want to leave them alone. Text a neighbor. So I text one neighbor. I didn't hear back. I hear the next name. I text the next neighbor. I didn't hear back. Then I hear the third name. And this poor guy, man, he's helped me with rats. He's helped me with everything. And he's a contractor. And I'm like, all right, I'll text him because I have so many good neighbors around me. I try to like spread it out so that it's not just one person. Like when I left for my wake, I gave my valuables to one of my neighbors because, if we left for the wake, whatever, it doesn't matter. You don't need to know. So Joe, I text Joe and Joe's like, I'll be right over. Take a picture of it. I need to know what tools I need. And right away, I'd already had like such a day. I had a big fight with my brother. It was just, I was grieving. I'm dealing with a puppy. It's storming. This metal contraption's broke. I go upstairs. There's a branch now by my car that fell off the tree. Luckily, it wasn't too heavy. It didn't hit the car bad, but I'm like, this is insane. Joe comes over with his lovely wife, absolutely lovely. And he's upstairs getting the tools that he needs. And his wife is downstairs with me. And I'm like crying. And I'm like, I'm not going to cry in front of Joe because this will make him uncomfortable. And she's like, don't worry about it. She's like, you can't get it perfect. Stop with the puppy. You can't get it perfect. And I was like, oh my goodness, Jackie, that is so what I said to myself last week when I was talking to a client. I was like, I have to stop trying to get it perfect. So they sawed it. They had to saw this friggin' thing. And they sawed it and we got it and got it taken care of. And just then it started pouring rain again. And they left. And I went inside and I was so grateful to them and so grateful for their help. And I went inside and the lights started flickering. And we lose our power if you go, the power goes out, just goes out. Literally, you could walk by and there's a little wind and it's power's out. And I'm like, oh, lights are flickering. This one I'm talking about clarity and God. Now the puppy is doing all of this because the puppy is opening my heart. The puppy is helping me to lead with my heart and vulnerability. The puppy is making me uncomfortable and messy. My house sometimes looks like a cyclone went through it. I do not like that. I'm very neat. He's just making me live and be in the present moment. I can't even keep track of time because I'm chasing this puppy around, So I go inside the house, the lights are flickering, and I'm like, I can't do another thing. I already had a fight with my brother, a big one. The storm is crazy. The puppy hasn't given me a second to breathe. I'm dealing with some other stuff. My business is like growing and messy at times. I just had this contraption fall apart. I feel really alone. I can't do this right now. You can't turn the lights off. I got down on my knees and I prayed. But I prayed with the knowledge of the lights not going out. I prayed with that connection to God. I prayed with the knowing. I just knew it. Like And there was a little doubt in there. There was, because the lights always go out. They always go out. And I got down on my knees and I said this prayer. I said, "Now, our Father, Hail Mary, and glory be." And I said, "Please, please, I can't do another thing. Please don't turn off our power. Please." That night, 40 miles per hour wind, the power did not go out. Now, you could all say, I woke up the next morning, I was like, wow, the power didn't go out. And even me, skeptical, will be like, well, the power didn't go out, right? But I prayed to God. So is this like, did this work? And I'm driving Shiloh to his day camp, and I go down my street and I see another neighbor, and I roll down the window. I said, how did you do with the storm? And he's like, we did okay. We did okay. He goes, but I cannot believe our power didn't go out. Everybody's power around us is out, but our power didn't go out. And I said to him, you need to thank me. I got on my knees and prayed last night that the power didn't go out. And he just looked at me strangely and walked away. He's a very nice guy. And I rolled up my window and I was like, holy mackerel, this is how it works. This is how it works. You have to believe. You also have to know you're worthy of this, right? Now, I know it sounds stupid. People have bigger problems than this. But the power going out on top of everything else was not something I wanted to deal with. Not. And this is the simple thing. We can ask for stuff like that. So moving it along, right? So I'm like, wow, this like experience I'm having with God, with Source, it's all part of my work, using my own instrument. This is what I want to help you do in the 10X. So 10X class helps you to get clear. The live portion, we're going to be doing a higher self workshop with tapping into your intuition. Even if you did it before, I always do the workshop different. We're going to be doing coaching call. You're going to get into the hot seat. I'm going to coach you. And then we're going to do a panel discussion with special guests where we're going to talk about codes, activating your own codes, writing your own codes, which is what I'm teaching in Next Level Living right now in 6 minutes. And we're going to talk about that. And we're going to do Q&A with that with 2 special guests. So we have a great week coming up at the end of February. So go to MarilynLaurie.com/10X, get into the Facebook group. You'll get in probably like next week or a week from now. And we're going to start the work right away. And you'll get into the 10X class right away. And it's cheap. You go in there and check it out. Okay. So I need to have a gardener, right? I have a big downslope land and I have these horrible plants. They're nice plants, but they're really pokey and they're hurt and they can make you really itchy. I think they're agave plants. I can't remember the name of them. And Shiloh is attracted to them. Venus knows to stay away from them. If a ball goes under there, she knows to stay away. Shiloh, who I'm always watching and I have on a lead, he's very attracted to them. And I need more freedom in my backyard with him. So I have a lot of these plants and I'm like, I've got to get rid of them. But I'm like, oh my goodness, man. I like too much money right now with everything. So my friend told me about a gardener because I always hire a gardener. And I'm telling you, just to get my lawn mowed, it's not that big. It's because it's a downslope. It's like $800 just to get it weed whacked. So I was like, I'm trying a new gardener. I need a new gardener. Every time this gardener comes here, I tell him what to do. And then it's like $1 million. And I'm like, I can't do it anymore. So I call this new gardener. He comes over, and in my head, I'm like, $500, $500, $500. And it's just this number there. And I show him all these plants that need to be removed. And he looks at it and he goes, and we're talking, and he goes, how about 350? And I know I need to learn how to negotiate, but I also feel for people and I never want to take advantage. And I'm like, okay, what about if we need to weed whack the whole lawn? He's like, all right, that's another 100. I was like, okay. How about those agave plants right there? Now I want to get rid of all the agave plants. And he's like, I'll do the whole thing for $550. I was like, and I know I can get it for $500. I know it. I was just like, it works. You're clear. You believe in yourself. You hold an intention. It's between God and you. Like if he said $1,000 and I wasn't willing to pay that, like I said, I don't negotiate with people a lot with their prices because I want people to just tell me what they think they deserve. And then I decide if I want to pay them or not. And then I can get into a conversation, but I'm not one of those like, people. I don't do that. And I'm like, oh, this works. This really works. Even my basement, I need to rat proof it. And I was like, 1,500. And the bid came back and it was like 2,400, but we added lights and stuff. And I'm like, and the handyman was down there with this like portable light system. I'm like, I don't need lights if I got that. I just plug that in. I don't need to do this. I may make this an ADU. I'm like, I really? So it's like, I'm going to take the light portion out. 1,500. Try it. So if you're interested in learning more, join us in the 10X class. You're going to learn how to work with your intuition, with your guides, with your higher self, which is your first guide. And also get clarity. If you don't have clarity, I know a lot of you struggle with clarity. Don't know what I want to do. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what my next step is. The 10X class is going to help you with that. And then all the live components in the community is going to help you even more. So come join me. And like I said, I don't care if you don't believe in God, do whatever you want and join me. And most importantly, recognize that what you desire, you can have. You really can. It's just your desire for it. If it's not being met with your emotional experience, if there's a belief in there that's buried that tells you you don't deserve it, that's why you keep hitting the wall. And when you work with your higher self who's already living the life you desire and you learn how to tap into your intuition, and I teach you a very simple exercise to tap into your intuition. When you learn to do these two components, the higher self is God. It's God's in you, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. I don't want to get into religious conversation. Like God to me, I love God. So whatever it is, source energy, but when you're into your higher self, which is a representation of that, if not that, and your intuition, and you put that together and you have some clarity, these beliefs that bubble up against you, this higher self is like, oh, no, 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 we're going to work on that. No, 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 you're more than that. You're more than that, and you deserve better. So come join me. I hope you do. And thank you so much for listening. Let me know what you think. Give me comments. Oh, I don't even know if there's any comments. There isn't. Leave any comments, and I will come back and answer them. And have a great day or night. Bye.